So we're headed down to El Grande Grand Lake, Oklahoma, because I entered the Toyota Series. And I missed the Lake of the Ozark one, but we're going to the Grand mainly just because learn a new lake and to keep me, you know, in tune with fishing. You can't be too stagnant since there's month intervals in between the NPFL. We're going to do it, and I said that in the beginning we're going to do Toyota Series to see if we can qualify for the championship, and kind of had boat issues obviously in the beginning, couldn't make it. So now we're doing it and we're headed there. It's pretty damn chilly really for this time of year. Well, nah, I mean it's about right, but it's been warm and all of a sudden got a cold front. And I actually went out yesterday there and I didn't film anything, but it's and they're all suspended and I caught a couple, but it's been real tough. I'd throw a 4-inch worm and like hit them on the head and they wouldn't do anything. So it's tough out there, but they're all over the place. There's fish everywhere. A lot of fish in this lake. But anyway, hey, like, subscribe my stuff. We're growing, that's for sure. But I know a lot of people are watching and not subscribed, so it'd be nice if you would. And you can even block me, I don't care, just subscribe, right? And then watch a couple every now and then. It's windy and it's pretty damn cold, but you know, it's fun always going out and figuring out a new lake. So we're out here, Grand Lake, Toyota Series, pre-practice, or I guess it's practice, but we're gonna go try to look for some pre-spawn fish. It looks like, you know, water temperatures in the mid 50s, getting up there. I mean, getting up there in the sense that there's prolonged, we had a cold front, but you know, days are longer. The sun is penetrating the water. It's a little off colored, it looks like. But I think I'm gonna graph around a lot and then see if I can get one or two to bite and go from there. Try to find some areas, because this is a large lake, and yeah, I imagine 200 boats. Gonna have to find something a little off the wall, and have to, you know, have a backup plan and maybe find some offshore stuff, and then, you know, where they're pushing up. But Wolf Creek Marina, which is actually pretty nice, big launch ramp, good parking, good facilities, or good bathrooms or whatnot. So kind of impressed with this. I think I was here, I don't know, a few years ago for a big bass bash, but other than that. But anyway, check it out. I'll film a little bit. If I see something really good, I'll put it on here. If I catch something cool, get a few bass or white bass or whatever, and I'll put it on here. But you know, mainly it's gonna be boring graphing, which is what you do. I mean, if you're fishing too much in your practice, in my opinion, that's wrong. But I guess on certain bodies of water it's okay, but bodies of water where you're just kind of learning, it's good to, you know, have a day of fishing, but a lot of days of looking around and getting the feel of what it is, what's prevalent, what's not prevalent, what's special and what's not special. Well, there's a fox, but apparently doesn't want to look over here. Little Grand Lake bass, just pulling up. Caught him on the old willy whacker. Dang, I left the GoPros, and then I come out here just to board around and look at this land. Another nice one. Another nice one. I gotta stop because I keep knocking these things in different parts of the lake, so I'm on to something, man. Anyway. Hey, what's up? I'm wrapping up my practice for Grand. I'm already off the water. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nasty stormy weather, and it's only a half day. So I will put a video out sometime, but I'm going to hold out anyway. So I went to some other areas just to give you a wrap up on, and then I'll talk about how practice went after the tournament starts, like what I was doing and whatnot, just in case, because there are people in the area where I was catching these fish, so they're getting pressured. So I don't know how that's going to affect it. How it's going to affect any of this. But I went to some oddball areas today. Stayed around where I was at because I didn't want to do, run from one end of the lake to another end of the lake with weather and chance breaking anything. But I just went to a completely different area and a different look to the area. And within 5 to 10 minutes, I caught like a 3.5, and then I just left and I didn't do anything else. But that one was a male. It was, he wasn't on a bed or anything, but he's, getting ready to. You can tell he's got like the little black markings on his lips. But there was a real spongy bite. It was weird. That one bit different than the rest of them that I've had, where they kind of smash it. This one kind of I thought I was kind of snagged on a twig, and he was just coming with me, and then finally he just torqued on. But after that, I just ran around, some other oddball areas, and didn't get anything else. And some of the times I wasn't even fishing. I would just go around with my trolling motor now and looking in these areas and looking for certain places that look like that, or looking for fish, because I was using my live scope. I am using my live scope not to target individual fish, but just to look for life in the area, because that seems to be the common denominator. I can go into places that look exactly the same as where I'm catching them, but when I graph around, even with side imaging and down imaging, there's not much going on there. I pop in the trolling motor and live scope, there's not as much. But then these places where I'm catching them, or have been, because we'll find out in the tournament if it, because you can't win practice, find out if it's still that way in the tournament. But you go, and if I can even get on these spots, because there is some other guys. I mean, I a local, was chiming in as I was going by. He's like, well, nobody's really catching anything. I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. And this guy. But anyway, so you go around, you look at the, with your live scope, and there's nothing, you're very little, but you go into these areas and it's full of life. A lot of bait fish, crappie, or what I think are crappie or panfish, or there might be just big gizzard shad in there. I can't really quite tell. Some of them I know are panfish, others are acting very like gizzard shad, really large shad, but they're around, and that's where I was getting them. But I wish I wouldn't have, there's a part of me I wish I wouldn't have stuck as many as I did in practice, but I never been to this lake, so I'm like legitimately trying to see the class of fish that's in that area, and then fishing it in a way that's proven beneficial, because I went to another area and I could see the life, whatever, and I went ahead and just fished, and I caught 2, and they were non-keepers, right? Whereas my other area that I really smashed them, they were all keepers, 3 to 4, a couple, 5 something pound, or not a couple. I only got 1 5 something pounder, but because I just caught it and I left that area, would not touch. I didn't want to touch anything else. And the same with the other ones. Like besides one group of fish where I just randomly cast in the back and caught another one, I'd catch one and just leave. But I was more like trying to look at the class of fish in the area and what's happening in the lake. If I'd known the lake a lot better, I could go in there and I wouldn't stick them, or I'd put something on my hooks. But the way they were biting, they were smashing it, but at the same time, you're smashing into stuff. And I've noticed that sometimes those, because I'm I'm smashing the things I feel like there's fish, and sometimes the way they're biting it's almost indistinguishable between that and hitting logs or hitting rocks or whatnot with what I'm doing. And I know that sounds weird, but it just is. I've just noticed that the way the fish are biting is in a certain way. Besides the one today, he, like I said, that one felt legitimately like if you ever pull like a stick out of the mud, or you snag into one and it gives, and that's what he felt like. And then finally he turned, and then I had him. So very lethargic, even though the water temperature is now solidly 58 to 60, a little over 60. And if you use, so I've noticed this, because I got two different styles of graph. So I got a temperature, monitor or whatever you want to, on the transducer in the back, and then my Garmin. And there are two different readings. No matter where I've gone, the Lowrance seems to overestimate things. I tend to trust the Garmin off the LiveScope a lot more. It seems more conducive to what the actual fish are doing. So there, my LiveScope in a lot of places I can get 60 degree, 60.5 was about the top. On my Lowrance units, I got the 62 in certain places. Now there could, you could say that, in different parts of the water column, but in reality, it's not that much difference from where the LiveScope is in that transducer. So there's just a calibration issue there, and I tend to rely on the LiveScope. But anyway, it looks good. This is probably going to be a slugfest, which I hate those, but the fish are there, and man, the ones that you can get, like I said, I've only caught, because I've been just fishing to learn the lake. I'm not like regular practicing where I don't stick fish. I was trying to figure out, because I've never been here. I've only caught 2 non-keepers, and I've caught everywhere, number of different places I've fished. I got 3 main areas, I'll just say that, and these areas I've caught fish in, or there's life, there's things going on, and they're all places where I've caught keepers. So like I said, I've only had 1 area, and I caught 2 non-keepers, and I guess I won't be going there. And then a bunch of dead water. I won't say dead water, but there's fish there that I could see. There's not as much life going on, but I can still see some fish there. But they're just not ready to bite, and I hate saying that because I always think there's a way to get fish to bite. But I've literally hit them on the head with my LiveScope with little 4-inch finesse worms, and they shoot off. So there's something funky that's going on with some of these fish. Not to say that they can't turn on for somebody, but I'm going to stick with my 3 areas that I found, because one of them is probably I could spend all day in, or 2 days, and then I'm thinking I'll keep these other areas if I need to in my back pocket, and then also for day 3. So if I happen to get in that top 10, day 3, if I felt like that my one spot's just been worked over, because there will be some pressure on it, I'll have this secondary and tertiary spot to hopefully make it. But anyway, subscribe this stuff. I'll put some photos, a little video of practice some of the fish, because they are real nice, healthy fish. And then I'll try to get, I'll try to film, days 1 and 2 of this Toyota series. And if I'm fortunate enough to make day 3, hey, well, I'll definitely do that. And of course, you can follow this on FLWfishing.com or MLF, because they're the ones that own it now. MLF, Major League Fishing, under Toyota series. But anyway, peace.